We have been following very closely the Russia-Ukraine war, and as of late, we had bad news and we have good news. The bad news first. The bad news is that this thing is escalating in ways that, well, it's hard to comprehend. There was this huge attack in downtown, in the center, in the middle of Kiev from Russian forces. They were attacking this drone factory. And, well, it was as messy as you can imagine. Okay, people are saying, oh, but Russia was attacking a drone factory. Why would Ukraine put it in the middle of Kiev? Yeah, but it's still, even if some are claiming that this is a surgical attack, it is not, because there were many civilian casualties, as any attack of this level you can have in any major city is obvious. It's something that, well, it's really lucky that there were no more casualties than there were already. We also have residential buildings on fire, 5-story building completely destroyed. Yes, but the problem is that we're expecting some kind of end to this, and now we have attacks in the middle of it's the capital. We're talking about the capital. This is really, really bad. At the same time, Ukraine has basically disabled Russia's capacity to refine oil by 20%. Giant oil refinery struck by Ukrainian drones in Stovo, Nizhny Novgorod region. It had a refining capacity of 17 million tons per year, accounting for over 6% of Russia's total refining output. There was one of the oil refineries attacked by Ukraine. So again, this is not ending anytime soon. And yes, the losses, of course, in terms of human losses, have been way too much. The White House is addressing this. White House on the Russian attacks against Ukraine. Trump was not happy. He was also not surprised. Russia launched this attack on Kiev, and Ukraine recently dealt a blow to Russia's oil refineries. Trump continues to watch this. Let's watch this clip.
General Keith Kellogg, the president's special envoy, has described these attacks as egregious. Do you agree with that description, and do you view President Putin as an impediment to getting peace between these two countries?
Well, it's not about if I agree, it's about what the president thinks, and I know what the president thinks because I talked to him about this. He was not happy about this news, but he was also not surprised. These are two countries that have been at war for a very long time. Russia launched this attack on Kiev, and likewise, Ukraine recently dealt a blow to Russia's oil refineries. They have taken out, as a matter of fact, 20% of Russia's oil refinery capacity over the course of their attacks throughout the month of August. So the president is continuing to watch this intently, and this killing, unfortunately, will continue as long as the war continues, which is why the president wants it to end.
Yeah, everybody wants this to end, but we have some good news in the middle of this. I think that the good news are the words by Zelensky in terms of how can we really stop this? How can this be stopped? And his words are maybe the most common sense words that I've heard from him in quite some time. He basically called for a diplomatic outcome, a diplomatic solution to the war.
Давайте спробуємо відповісти на ваші запитання і розібрати його логічно. Припинення війни може бути двома варіантами – військовим або дипломатичним. Ми розуміємо всі, що Росія на сьогодні не зможе нас окупувати. Ми розуміємо всі, що Україна на сьогодні зброєю відновити повністю всі свої території не зможе. Не вистачає сил їм, не вистачає сил нам.
I think there was a great statement by Zelensky in the sense that this is basically a stalemate. Russia doesn't have the strength to push further into Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't have the capacity or the strength at the same time to take back the territories occupied by Russia. So, where do you go from here? It's still more and more human losses, and none of both countries are going to nowhere with this. Only more death and destruction. And I think this is the what should be needed for a quick solution, for a quick outcome to the war. Say that let's sit down. Actually, sit down. I think that I don't understand. What I don't get is if they know, but I'm sure that Putin knows this as well. If they know that Russia hasn't progressed, so to speak, in a long time, and this has only been casualties, both for Russia and Ukraine as well, of course, it has been horrific in all levels that one can imagine. Then the only thing that could be done at this point is just sit down and let's negotiate. And I think that is great that Zelensky is like he's being clear about this. That you remember that when he was completely opposed about sitting down with Putin back in the first time at the Oval Office. The second time the Oval Office was, I said that it was great. Then there was this, the attacks started again. And then there are also more bad news, sadly.
Тому, коли ми говоримо, в що вірить суспільство і люди, я вважаю, що на сьогодні дипломатичний шлях менше вбивств, менше втрат і більш швидкий, ніж шлях війною. На мою думку, так.
Yeah, I think that he sounds sincere. He sounds sincere. At the same time, a few days ago, we got Sergei Lavrov from Russia saying that no deal can be signed by Zelensky since he's illegitimate. We would need a very clear understanding by everybody that the person who is signing is legitimate. And according to the Ukrainian constitution, Mr. Zelensky is not at the moment. And I said, oh my God, this is an actual roadblock, I think.
So, yes,
Mr. Foreign Minister,
he is ready to meet.
Let's keep moving.
But no, we cannot meet just for him to have a picture and to say that now I am legitimate. Legitimacy is another matter, because irrespective of when this meeting might take place, and it must be very well prepared, the issue of who is going to sign the deal on Ukrainian side is a very serious issue.
So you're saying you don't see President Zelensky as the legitimate leader of Ukraine? President Putin doesn't recognize him as the legitimate leader of Ukraine?
No, we recognize him as de facto head of the regime. And in this capacity, we are ready to meet with him. But when it comes to signing legal documents, now you want to have the entire picture, just part of it, which suits you. When we come to a stage when you have to sign documents, we would need a very clear understanding by everybody that the person who is signing is legitimate. And according to the Ukrainian constitution, Mr. Zelensky is not at the moment.
So again, I think this, on the Russia side, this doesn't look good. On the Zelensky side, this sounds pretty much reasonable. Let's do this. But again, I don't know how much can Russia withstand with those drone attacks. And one can only imagine why Russia was so hell-bent on destroying that drone factory. What would be the development in the following days? Well, it's anyone's guess, but I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss.